Hey, I just thought I might share a couple of ways in which I use Back Office in Destiny Discover to gather data for my monthly library newsletter that I share with staff. So I'm going to go ahead and share this with you. When I am in Canva, I use Canva to create our monthly newsletter or create a link to that. And one of the things that I include in our monthly update or try to include each month is what have we weeded? How many books have we weeded from the library? And what's new? What's been added to the library? So I thought I'd show you just a couple of quick ways that you can do that inside Destiny Discover in Back Office. So once you've logged in, I'm logged in as Frank Love Elementary. It's our school here in the North Shore School District. And I'm going to go to reports. And the first report that I want to run is specifically what books have been added in the last month. For example, if I'm writing the end of April library newsletter. So I'm going to go to library reports and I'm going to click on spine pocket labels. Interestingly enough, it's a workaround, right? Doesn't say books I've added, but if you go to spine and pocket labels, this report allows you to run a report of what's been added based upon a date and time. So you get real specific, or you could use a general, even if you wanted to run a list for what would be added in an entire year. So what I'm going to do is select both date and time for sort by and based on. And let's say I'm going to use my April, month of April as my date. So I'm going to choose 04/01/2023, and that's going to end on 04/30/2023. And then I'm going to export as Excel because I'm not actually printing these labels. I just want a list. And so when I click export to Excel and I run this report, it's going to run this report and allow me to access an Excel document that I can then just simply look at how many records were found for April and how many were there. So let me go ahead and share with you what this looks like. Here is my Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to open this up. And you can see that in the month of April, because I ran April 1st through April 30th, 2023, that I added 61 books. So now that's easy, quick and easy way to see how many books you may have added. I'm going to do that real quick again, just to show you how different this looks if you run it for a longer period of time. So spine and pocket labels under library reports. And I'm going to run this from September to the most recent date, which is May 1st, 23. I'm again going to export to Excel and run that report. And now I can see how many books I've added to our library collection over the last school year since September. So when I view that, again, opening in Excel, you can browse down and you'll see that we've added quite a few books this year. Woohoo! It's exciting. And at the very end of this Excel spreadsheet, you can see that we've added 704 books since September of 2022, which is great information to have and put on your library newsletter. One of the things that I love too about using this is that I will sometimes copy that spreadsheet into a Word doc in Google or Google Doc, and I will save it as a web page so that I can then share a link to the books that we've actually added in that month. That's a link that you can use and provide on Canva. So the next thing I want to show you is how can you look for what books have been weeded in Destiny Discover. So again, if I'm going to library reports, and there is actually a weeding log. This one has a name that is what we think it should be. And if I click on weeding log, it allows me to simply run a report of what has been weeded. I'm going to say, let's look through January of 2023, just because it's going to be a big report. Actually, yep, we'll do that. Through today, 5. And again, you want to make sure you export as Excel. The advantage to exporting as Excel is it gives you that number, count, and tally on the left-hand side so that you can see how many items have been weeded. So in our library, we did a really big weed. So I'm expecting that this might take a minute, but it's also going to give us a pretty big number. 2 things that I include in addition to both weeded and added materials in my library report each month are also the total number of checkouts and the total number of holds that students have placed. Since we teach our older elementary school students how to place holds, that's a really great statistic to continue to add. Maybe let's try to refresh this one more time. It's being a little slow, but while we're doing that, I'm going to hop back over to my newsletter. I think that next year I might rearrange this a little bit, but I thought I'd give you a minute to take a look at this. Put important information up here, a review of what's coming up, any important dates. I love to share pictures and video. You can embed video in your Canva newsletters. I love that you can also embed links. We have a link here to our reading challenge list, which is pretty fun, an interactive place where students can look at the first page of every book in that reading challenge. And of course, the collection updates and then some simple reminders. So let's go back to our report manager and see if it's finished. So our new one's finished. This is my weeding log, how many books have been pulled from the library. And when I open that up, this is a much bigger document, again, because we weeded. And if I go all the way down to the very end, you can see that we've weeded since January 917 items. Those are 2 quick and easy ways to use Destiny Discover to look for information on books you've added so that you can share with staff or your community or your admin, and also to keep track of things that have been weeded. Thanks. Happy reading.